Hello guys and welcome again. So this is my new Charisma XMR 210. I just picked it up a couple of days back. Today is 3rd of March. I got the delivery on 1st of March in the evening at around 6 p.m. So it's my second day with this motorcycle. I was having a X-Pulse before this. So this is my second Hero motorcycle and my third Hero product. I also have a Hero scooter, Maestro Edge ZX 2017 variant. So let me just give you an overview of this motorcycle. So this is the heart of the motorcycle. This is a 210cc liquid fuel motor. It produces around 25.5 PS of power with and 20.4 Nm of torque for around 7,250 rpm. This motor is very torquey, and the compression ratio of this motor is 12:1. It is very close to the compression ratio of Dominar and KTM. Dominar and KTM, I think they have 12.1:1 ratio, and it means that it's a bit on a higher side, so you can safely use the high octane petrol in this, but I don't feel any need. It is a E20 compliant engine, so you can use E20 petrol safely. For the first tank fill, I just use a regular standard 91 octane petrol, RON 91, which is our standard fuel, which is E10 in Delhi. And here's the fuel tank. The capacity of the fuel tank is 11 liter. It could have been a little bit more, but I think 11 liter is sufficient enough because the fuel economy should be good. It should easily give above 30 kpl per liter inside the city. So the seat height of this motorcycle is 810 mm. It's got a split seat setup, and the cushioning on the seat is good enough. I did not feel any discomfort till now. I have ridden it around 50 kilometers inside the city. Yesterday I rode in very heavy traffic for around 20 kilometers. I am 5 feet 4 inches and I can tiptoe easily on this motorcycle. So I don't find any difficulty in riding this motorcycle. I was riding an X-Pulse before this. I'm only 5 feet 4 inches. So on the rear, the tire profile is very good. It's got a 140 section tire at the rear, 140/70 17 inch. It's not a radial, it's an MRF tire. MRF nylon grip chappers. These are not radial tires, but these are H-rated 66H. H-rated means 210 kilometers of speed, so it can sustain high speed very easily. And on the front, it has got a 100 section tire, 180/17. Again, it is a 52 H-rated tire, same 210 km per hour. On the front, the brake is 320 mm, and on the rear, it's a 230 mm of disc brake. These are pedal disc brake. Pedal disc brakes are better in heat dissipation than the regular disc brakes, and it's got probably Nissan calipers. I couldn't find the brand now. In the front, it is a Vibre, and the rear could be a Nissan like it was on the X-Pulse. But the braking is very effective on this motorcycle. So rear brake is very sharp, unlike any other motorcycle like a Dominar or a KTM or Royal Enfield for a matter. This rear brake is very sharp. On the X-Pulse also the rear brake were very sharp. Front, on the other hand, is little bit spongy. The lever feels spongy. The lever actions feel little bit spongy. I need to get this checked. But the brake is effective. Braking is effective, and it's got a liquid cooling. The coolant reservoir or the expansion tank is given here. The radiator can be accessed from under this fairing, this side fairing, right side of fairing. There are few clever bits on this motorcycle, which few other fully faired motorcycle doesn't have. Like for example, this cutout, this fairing. This is a fully fairing motorcycle, but still there is a cutout to easily access the oil filter. Oil filter goes here, and this is the water pump or the coolant pump. This is the water pump or the coolant pump here. It can be easily accessed without opening any fairing, and the oil check window is here. You can check your oil level from here. The oil capacity of this motorcycle is 1250 ml if you don't change the oil filter. If you change the oil filter, then it requires 1350 ml. This is the rear brake reservoir. It takes .4 brake oil. So this is the front brake reservoir. It again takes .4 oil. It's got a split seat setup. Unlike R15, the rear seat is not very high, but it is still high, so your pillion had to be adjusted with the seat height. It will sit higher than you. I wanted to try a sports bike this time, so I got this motorcycle. I tested it a couple of times before buying this, so I finalized this. Unlike R15, which is very committed, this position of the clip-on bars is not very committed. It is not putting any strain on my shoulder or my wrist. I have ridden this for around 20 kilometers yesterday in a very heavy traffic, so I was not feeling uncomfortable at all. It's got a all LED setup for the lights, for the headlight, for the blinkers. Everything is LED. This is an automatic LED headlight. It's switched on automatically when it senses there is a darkness, or when the environment is getting dark, like in evening, and when it is in night. There is an automatic ambient light sensor on the display. It senses the light from there. The front forks are telescopic, and these are 37 mm front forks without any adjustment. But people are talking about that this should be USD fork, but I don't feel the need of any USD forks. This telescopic setups works perfectly fine. It's got an open rear chain. It's an O-ring chain. One weird thing I have noticed, that the chain slack is too tight on this motorcycle. I don't know, I have noticed this. Look at this. It feels too tight, where it should have been around 20 to 25 mm for this kind of motorcycle. So on the other Karizma which they have on the showroom, there were two other motorcycles. The chain slack was tight like this also. I had to get it checked now. I have to get it checked now, or I will do it on my own. And the clutch action is fairly light. Clutch is very light. You will not feel any burden on your wrist or on your fingers in heavy traffic or with constantly using the clutch. Mirrors are pretty useful. People say that they don't fully fold. Yes, they don't fully fold. They can fold only like this. This stem cannot be folded without opening it. But the overall width of the mirror is inside the overall width of the motorcycle. You can see here. So it will not give you any restriction while traveling through tight traffic or parking in a tight traffic place. This is how it looks from the rear view, and this is how it looks from the front view. This engine is very torquey. The low end grunt is also very good. I was very skeptical that it will be like a Dominar or a KTM in lower RPM range. The bottom torque will be poor, but the bottom end torque is not very poor. It can easily pick up from the speed of around 17-18 kilometers per hour in third gear easily without stuttering. I have even ridden it at a speed of 25 to 26 kilometers in fourth gear. The bike is not giving any stutters or any lags, and it is riding very smoothly. It means you can ride in a high gear, low speed combo without stuttering or without putting any stress on the engine. So the one very interesting or very sweet bit about this engine is the intake roar of this motorcycle is very toxic. When you sit on the riding seat and start riding it, the thing which you hear is the intake roar, not the exhaust sound. And the intake roar it produces is very toxic. It's very sweet. The riders use aftermarket air filter to get such kind of intake roar. But this motorcycle is giving you this sweet intake roar from the factory itself. So as I have told you about the engine specs, this is a 6-speed gearbox, constant max 6-speed gearbox, and the gear shifting is very smooth. Plus clutch action is very smooth. It has a slipper clutch also. Shifting is very smooth. I haven't experienced any false neutral or hard gear shift. So it has got a metal tank, so you can safely and easily use your magnetic tank bags. This cowl is plastic, and this can easily be scratched, so I would probably put some kind of tank protective sticker or the tank pad on this. I'm not going for lamination or PPF. So this windscreen is adjustable. You have to keep pressing this. This windshield is adjustable, so you can press this button here. You can press this visor button here and pull this up, and it will give you a few more inches of windshield height to protect you from the wind blast. So it has got a full LCD display. It's a negative LCD display. This is how it boots up. This display could have been more bright, because in bright sunlight it gets dull. It's a very informative display. There are toggle switches on the left side of the handlebar. You can toggle it from this mode button. It will give you tons of information, like it is showing the odometer. Current odometer reading is 75 kilometers. It's showing date, time, and this side is coolant temperature, and this is your fuel gauge. and the ABC blinker, and all the indicator lights are here. And then if you toggle it, it will show you trip A with your average speed, and your average fuel consumption will show here. I have ridden around 40.6 kilometer. After filling the tank to the top, I got a tank full of petrol. They gave me 3 liters of petrol at the time of delivery. Then I filled it up, and it only took 8 liters. So this confirms the 11 liters capacity of the fuel tank. And on the pressing it again, it will show the trip B. Then it will show your average fuel economy which you are getting at the time of riding. When I was riding in the morning in less traffic, then it shows me a maximum of then it showed me a maximum of 62 km per liter. I was very surprised. The lowest it showed me in moderate traffic was 36 kilometers per liter, and the maximum it showed me is around 62 kilometers. So I am very confident that it will comfortably give above 30 kilometers per liter inside the city. Then here it shows a navigation display. It has got Bluetooth connectivity. It will give you turn by turn navigation while using the Hero app. I'll make another video on this. And then it will show you the service reminder and how many kilometers the service due, and the battery's current voltage of the battery. And when you start riding, it will show you the charging current also. This is how the display look, and this is the auto button. You can turn it off so that you can manually switch on the headlight. I will check this and make another video on this one. Just let me switch it off. So on the handlebar side, the switchgear is good. These are backlit switches. It lights up in the night. This is the mode button. This is your select button. This is your horn. This is your horn. This is your indicator. Indicator is push to cancel. And this is your toggle switch for the fast light, high beam, and low beam. And on this side is your engine kill switch. It works as a self start also. And here is your switch for the hazard light. It turns on all 4 blinkers, so no need for flasher module. The clip-on handlebar looks like this. It's very comfortable, not very uncomfortable like very committed RC series of motorcycles or R15. It's got a nifty USB charging port here. This is how it looks. It doesn't have a main stand, but you can fit the main stand from the showroom or the workshop. And this is how it looks from the rear. The rear look very substantial. The 140 mm of width of the tire is sufficient enough. You can upgrade to a radial tire if you want. And there is one attachment here. This is probably to fix the tire agar. And this is how it looks from this side. Let me just start it and rev it up for you. So this is how the motorcycle looks overall.